Hello, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel once again. Today I'm joined by Abdullah Al-Khatani, a current MIT Sloan Fellow. Abdullah, lovely to have you on today's chat.
Thank you so much for having me, Sam.
Do you want to start off maybe by just giving everyone a little bit of background about your work experience?
Sure. So I'm from Saudi. I have 16 years of experience. I've worked in oil and gas and the investment and strategy side for a while, and then I did my grad degree in the US, and then I actually continued at the same company, and then I switched to work with the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia, the Public Investment Fund, and I decided after 3 years that I want to go and pursue my MBA at MIT.
Fantastic. So you're doing your Sloan Fellows right now, and we're currently recording in end of March 2026. So you must be about midway through your year.
Yes, we are almost done. So I finish in May. It's a 1 year program. So you
Uh-huh.
start in June and you finish in May.
Okay, so you've got about okay, right. So you finish in May. I had sort of in the summer in mind. Okay, so why don't you can you tell us about the program? What does a day to day look like? What do you how does a typical day in the program look like?
So the program is a 1 year long. It's
Hmm.
actually back to back. So you basically take the 2 years into 1 year.
Hmm.
Uh, it depends on how you want your day to be. Meaning, besides summer, like for the fall and spring, you design your own schedule. If you do the normal typical classes average per semester, I would assume you will be in school minimum 3, 4 hours a day, and then you're
Okay.
gonna be working on different. It depends on what classes you're picking, and we can talk about this later on. But based on that, you're gonna spend another 3, 4 hours within the school to work with other teams. MIT focuses on forcing you to work with teams, and this is actually it's a great opportunity to learn about others too. And
Mm.
they actually when you do that, they develop your leadership skills at the same time, and we can talk about the action labs and stuff. So that's what's special about MIT. They make you force you in groups. They make you select your classes. You do your own schedule. So your day could be a typical day for me. For example, in the fall, I had classes started from 10 o'clock in the morning, but I would be in classes until 6. I have breaks in between. I would work with my groups in that, and we coordinate to meet. And also sometimes I end up doing some homeworks at night. And some other days I have nothing, not much to do for
Mm.
school, but I would go to meetings, events, meet new people. So it depends on how you want it to be heavy and more involved, or you can actually manage how to do it.
Mm. Cool. And is it difficult?
Difficult is subjective. You can make anything difficult and you can make it fun for you. Meaning,
Mhm.
I'm taking classes. I enjoy them. It's a new subject for me. I can take more like crazy classes if I wanted to, but probably less interesting for me. So it depends. For example, I'm taking quantum class. I took a quantum class. I have nothing to do with quantum. It's just interesting. It's interesting subject to learn about. It wasn't hard for me because I didn't need to be, a scientist. I don't want to be a scientist. I just want to know the subject and what's quantum and what's going on in the quantum world today.
Uh-huh.
Also, on the other side, there are places where I would go and just ask to check a lab, for example. That's out of curiosity. For example, fusion. I would go and see what MIT does in fusion. So these type of things, I can make it difficult and be taking like nuclear classes and stuff like that. I'm allowed to, but it depends on how you want it to be. Honestly, overall, there's nothing difficult. MIT would actually help you to, you know, pass the classes, make sure that you
Mhm.
learn. And how much like the biggest part of it is how much effort you put into it.
Mm.
So it's a nice journey. I don't want to say it's difficult. I would say it's just time management. If you do that, you should be good to go.
Yeah. Do you get a grade out of it? And is there a grade non-disclosure policy?
We get a grades. I'm not sure how much should I talk about grades, but
Uh-huh.
if your point of view, and this is one thing that I've been telling the newcomers, like the new admits for next year, I said, when you come to school, forget about grades. If you think about grades, that would be problematic. MIT doesn't care about your grades. Literally, they don't.
Mm.
I literally mean it. They don't care about you will pass, you will go, you will pass classes if you do your homework and you do your thing. It's about always about learning and how much you learned from classes.
Mm,
So I see, and I talk to most people in my class, we don't care about grades as much.
mm.
We want to be getting A's and stuff, but it's not the ultimate goal. Does that make sense? We're not like undergrad trying to get like
Yeah, I was going to say this is
exactly,
not undergrad MIT.
exactly.
Mm. Okay. And is it tech heavy? Is it tech focused? I mean, that's obviously the reputation, the brand of the wider school. What about the business school?
So Sloan is actually it's actually number one now, as per FT.
Yeah.
Uh, as a Sloan has different programs. So you
Mhm.
actually again you have let me just zoom out a bit. We in my program, Sloan Fellows, we have nine core classes that you don't get to choose, right?
Mhm.
So you come in the summer, you take seven classes, and then you have one class in the fall and one class in spring. These are core, you don't change.
Mhm.
Other than that, I can take the rest of the classes, for example, outside Sloan, I can make it very technical. I can
Mhm.
do that. I could do classes in computer science and engineering. I can do that. But
Mm.
do I want to? No, I can. If I want to stay within Sloan, also Sloan could be very technical or could be very soft skill focused. It depends on how you want to design and fit your needs based on
Mm.
what you're lacking. You can take AI classes. You can take um, like finance class. You can take leadership classes. You can take analytics classes, health care classes, management. You can focus on what area you want, and they actually
Mm.
help you. There are certain certificate. They say, oh, if you want to do finance certificate, for example, you need to focus on these courses, and we will give you
Right.
a certificate called finance certificate. And so it depends on what you want to do.
Mm. Is that what you've done?
I have done, yes. So I've actually I started the program. I want to focus on some finance classes, which I did, and
Mhm.
I've taken the things that I needed to take, but I also wanted to focus on AI. So I've been taking machine learning, deep learning. I've taken global business and robotics and AI. I've taken AI and money class. So
Cool.
yeah, different stuff that I want to be exposed to the technical part of it. But also,
Mm.
I know other people, they didn't. They took more leadership.
Mm.
That's what they felt they need more, and they took more leadership classes.
Let me ask you this. If you've structured and focused your MBA on AI, what would you say to people who are saying, in a world of AI, you don't need business school, right? There's this idea, this argument going on, like AI is taking over, you don't need business school anymore. But at the same time, you're in business school learning about AI.
Yeah.
What's your
Uh,
view on
I
that?
I hear both. I genuinely think both could be right, but I still believe being in a school, interacting with people,
Uh-huh.
speaking to professors, being there, seeing people building AI stuff is
Mm.
different than just sitting behind the screen and just reading and interacting with an agent or
Yeah,
with,
sure.
an AI tool.
Or
So
self-teaching.
or self-teaching, being
Mm.
in the ecosystem, being in MIT ecosystem, this is something beyond having just a degree of MIT.
Mm.
Like being there, seeing people, seeing speakers come, being in an event, knowing this is happening right now. There's so much happening every day in MIT and ecosystem,
Mm.
Harvard and Cambridge area in general, even the companies there, that you just feel you're just FOMO. You're missing out every day, and you're doing everything right, but you always miss out. So people stress out at the beginning that they want to capture everything because it's so overwhelming and it's so much fun. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you realize you have so much and capacity to like you don't have that capacity to do it. So it's just becomes part of the nature of being and living there.
Mm. What's the coolest thing you've done?
In the program, actually sitting, this might sound cheesy, but sitting in a class of Simon Johnson,
Okay.
the Nobel Prize winner of economics in 2024. Not because he won the prize, just because he's so brilliant that you sit and you just listen to him. It didn't happen to me in even my previous two degrees I had. It's just that one individual that made it. He took my degree to another level. Does that make sense? So I took
Yeah.
with him two classes, and this is the point where I heard from previous people saying, "Oh, the professor you pick is probably more important than the subject you pick." And I didn't feel this until I took his class. And I'm like, yes, he made a huge difference. So that's for me was the awesome thing I've done. Also taken AI classes and quantum and just being outside like the normal business
Mm.
setting is actually something really great.
Sounds pretty overwhelming. It sounds really, really intense. And have you traveled at all?
Yes. So there are, okay, are we talking about with the school or without the school? I can talk to both.
Both.
Okay. So with this, without the school, let's start without the school. Again, is about your time management, about
Mhm.
how you design your schedule, about how you do your homework, about how you do with your group, how you coordinate. I
Mhm.
have seen a lot of people, they actually manage their companies. So I have classmates, they actually have actual companies back home in their
Mhm.
countries, and then they fly back and forth. So I can
Wow.
tell you it is manageable. It is hard, but it is manageable. For me, I've traveled twice. I went to DC. I went to attend a conference in the middle of the school week, and I
Mhm.
just sent an email to my professors, and they were like, "Go ahead, enjoy it, come back whenever you want to come back." So they were very
Mhm.
supportive.
Mhm.
And I went to Atlanta, which was like a long weekend, and I took another 2 days. So I was managing perfectly fine.
Mhm.
So in terms of traveling, yes, you can. Usually Fridays there are no classes. You're taking a long weekend by default every weekend. But also you need to work with groups. So it depends on how flexible and how, you know, your classes and how much effort that specific project needs, you can design in. So I assume I would answer your question, yes. With the
Mhm.
school, there are two trips during the year. So there's a trip to New York and then there is a trip to DC. New York
Cool.
is around October time. DC is around February time. We just finished and wrapped up the DC module. So it's like a 3 days. You go, you meet guest speaker, you go visit, for example, you visit the World Bank or visit some embassies.
So
Um,
cool.
yeah, so it's a very interesting and fun program to be in.
And are those trips hosted by alumni or something?
So alumni, so the first, I'll give you an example. The first module, which is in New York,
Mm.
alumni came and gave us, so CEO of a company, senior VP of a company,
Mhm.
they are alumni, right? They come and speak.
Mhm.
Uh, in this module, in the DC module, which we just finished in February, we had actually two things. We have alumni come and speak, and we have recent alumni joined us as part of our cohort to attend these,
Cool.
sessions. So they want us to mingle and mix with people who graduated from the same program, even in the 90s. They also do events throughout the year where they invite alumni to come and attend just a networking session. So they have probably, I would say, good three, four throughout the year. So every quarter there is something.
So they make it easy for you to meet alumni, not just your current classmates.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Interesting. Tell us about the action learning labs. That's something that we write about a lot on my side in the application process, and kind of pull that curtain away and tell us what an action learning lab really looks like.
So MIT is very popular with their action labs.
Hmm.
But I would probably be not the best one to have used all the labs.
Okay.
However, I've taken two labs. So I've taken the team and leadership lab, where they put you in group throughout the summer. They put you in one group, and then the first half of the summer, they make you like know each other, have an executive coach with you
Mm.
as a team, and then have an executive coach with you as an individual. And then the second half of the semester, you start actually doing the work together. So they made you know each other personally, and
Mm.
then you work together on like very tough subjects and projects, and they pressure you with time, and they want to see how you interact. So that's like hands-on, really. Like, and you see sometimes like every week there's an executive coach who would come and sit and see what happened, what's the feedback. We give each other feedback. There are certain things you do to test your leadership, and this is, you
Mm.
wouldn't find it in a normal setting class, just somebody telling you what leadership is. So that's
Sure.
3 months. Was very, very interesting. And then I took another class. It's called U Lab, which is a U theory. It's about leadership as well, but from like emerging future rather than the past, and how you see the future.
Mm.
within yourself or within an organization. That was very interesting. You do things in class. It sounds abstract, but Otto, the professor is very well known about his theory about youth theory. So that those I wanted to focus on the leadership labs more than other labs because of my years of experience, I have 15, 16 years of experience. I'm going to go back. I'm going to manage
Yeah.
teams. So that's what something I felt like I need the need to have.
There's a lot going on. You said it's a 1 year program. Is 1 year long enough?
No, I actually spoke. I
Doesn't
actually
sound
spoke to
it.
the school. I spoke to the school about it. I was like, what if I want to extend it? Like, there is actually ways to do it, but 1 year is not enough. If you want to learn
Mm.
and if you want to immerse yourself into the school and what's going on,
Mm.
it's very short. And you just literally, I can't believe that we're almost about to finish. It's so
Mm.
fast and it's so good. You can't get enough. And I wish it's 2 years, but I also, it's an interesting place to be.
Mm. And so, how often are you interacting, or how are you interacting with other groups? For example, with the undergrads or with the full-time MBAs, because you're on the Sloan Fellows program, slightly distinct from the full-time from the sort of regular MBA program. How much and how often are you interacting with those groups?
Okay, so besides the 9 classes that I told you about, the core
Yeah.
class, you'll be interacting with them all the time. So you
Mm.
will be interacting. Sorry, Sloan has different programs. They have the finance program, masters in finance. They have the master in data analytics. I think they have the regular MBA. They have the Sloan Fellows MBA. They have the executive MBA. I think there are
Mm.
like 6, 7 programs, right?
Mm.
The moment we're talking about non-core classes for the Sloan Fellows, for example, then you will be in class with all of them. So
Mm.
I sit with, and I know people from the Master of Finance, 2 years MBA, executive, and they actually make sure that you actually connect with them.
How do they do
So
that?
they sometimes they assign you to groups, so they
Uh,
mix you. So you don't
yeah.
stay with the Sloan Fellows all the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
And sometimes you pick your own group. So you can pick your own group and just say, you know what, I'm just going to be with my classmates and fellows, right? Or I want to be working with the executive MBA and the 2 years MBA. So I've been in multiple groups with different majors or different programs, basically.
Yeah.
In addition, you have Harvard people come into your classes because MIT and Harvard, we can take classes across, so we can cross register. Also, you will have from wider MIT within the program, meaning
Mm.
somebody in computer science would be taking. I was with a PhD computer science student in my group last week. So
Yeah.
she worked with me on a project for like 6 weeks, and she doesn't take any classes in Sloan, so you get to interact with also the wider MIT as well.
Interesting. Well, she's super smart.
She's very smart, yes. Like when she was like, I was like, okay, you handle this. I have no idea about that computer science part. You just tell me what to do, and I'll be more than happy to do.
Yeah,
So
it's really cool.
it was fun.
And how are classmates with families coping with the move? Presumably, there's classmates with families who have moved to Boston for this. How have they handled it?
We have a lot of classmates that they have actually kids, like big family, meaning three,
Mm.
4 kids. They've been enjoying it. They've been traveling even more than us. The ones who like, the moment they have a break or long weekend, they would go and explore and see things.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think I'm not gonna speak on their behalf, but I've seen them like they got their kids into school quickly. They rented a place. They've been immersed, like they're immersing themselves in the program.
Mm.
So I don't see any difference from single versus family. If you
Mm.
come in just in the right time and just try to, get things out of the way, like again, moving into a country, it takes a bit of work. But overall, I think they're enjoying it probably more than us. Yeah.
And how's the cost particularly for an international student? How does the cost feel?
Do I have to answer?
You don't have to
I
answer
think
it, but I imagine it feels
no,
very expensive, no?
it is very expensive.
Yeah.
The problem, Boston is not cheap.
Mm,
And the way I look at it, I look at the value, not
yeah.
necessarily the money, meaning if I'm paying this much, what is the value for me? And I
Mm,
think the value in Boston in general is not as great as it should be.
hmm
The program itself is not cheap as well.
hmm
So, but it's a one lifetime experience. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, interesting. Okay, now I want to talk about recruiting next, because obviously for a mid-career program like an MIT Sloan Fellows, a lot of the people in the class have got either guaranteed kind of continuing in their jobs and planning on going back to their existing companies. Some of them are using the degree to pivot their roles. What would you say is the proportion of people who are kind of pre-committed to going back to their companies?
so I'll speak about like 100%. So I would say
Uh-huh.
40% they want to be an entrepreneur or even more.
What percent was that? Sorry.
40%.
Okay.
I would guess like 40 to 45% that they are doing their own actual business right now. They're either in the process of creating their own companies. They're thinking about what they're going to do in the future. Like those are the people, they have a business idea, they've been working on it. So I would say
Mm,
40 to 45%. The remaining, I would say 30%, they have a sponsorship, so they have to go back to their sponsor. And then 30% to 35% is, they're looking for jobs.
okay.
So they're recruiting, they're looking for normal corporate jobs.
Mm. And how, just sort of based on what you've heard, how's the recruiting landscape at the moment?
Okay, that depends. If you're international,
Mm.
it not has not been as easy as it sounds, meaning being in this program, Sloan Fellow. If you're in a 2-year MBA, you have a process to get recruited. You
Yeah.
have 5 to 6 years of experience on average.
And an internship between the 2 years.
Exactly. And there's an
Mm.
internship, and then there is a recruiting process. So there's a certain events that the firms are targeting those type of experience and that type of, field,
Hmm.
like that, years of experience, basically. For us, we come with 10, 15. So you can't, JP Morgan, for example, I can't just go to JP Morgan and JP Morgan and say, oh, we want to hire you as an analyst. No,
Mm.
sorry, excuse me, I'm not going to be an analyst
Yeah.
after 15 years of experience. So the target market is very difficult for you. So it has to be a very specific job that is actually available for your experience to be. So it's not an easy match,
Mm.
basically. So that's one challenge. The second challenge is you start the program, you want something, you learn so much, you start changing and being an open mind, you start changing, which is great. I
You
am
want
all
something
for that.
different.
You want something different, exactly. So that's
Mm.
another challenge. Third, and it's the most important one, and I guess the most challenging one, is being an international. The companies are now asking the question is why would I hire an international versus an American?
Hmm.
So when I go and fill in the applications, for example, for job recruiting, the
Mm.
first question you would get, are you legally allowed to work as like in the US?
Yeah.
And you say yes, because you have an OPT, you can do that.
Hmm.
But then the second question goes to, do you now or in the future require sponsorship? The
Yeah.
moment you say yes, I believe the application goes to a different set of, route. I would
Yeah.
leave it there. So that
Yeah.
makes it difficult. However, there are a few people from our class, they got jobs so far. They got job
Hmm.
offers, but not the majority. So I would say
Mm.
not the most. And also, it's about who do you know and network within the program. Like, if you meet CEOs or different people in different companies and how you work your way through networking, that helps. Um, and the school, actually, they have a career office. You would go to them, they help you to set up your resume, they help you to put you in contact with people if they know some. So they facilitate, but they can't do so much, like they can't
Yeah.
get you a job, right?
Yeah.
So that's the recruiting part is a bit tricky, but the
Mm.
majority of the people within the program is actually creating their own companies.
Really interesting. So Do you think that the different groups, the sponsored people versus the entrepreneurs versus the job hunters, do you think they're getting different amounts of value out of the MBA?
Yes. I'll give you an example. I know sponsor people that they know exactly what classes they needed to take before the semesters, like before the whole
Uh-huh.
year. They said, I want to focus on leadership. I want to focus on finance.
Right.
That's my focus. And they've been taking classes in that.
Yeah.
If you speak to the entrepreneurs, they look at where the entrepreneur classes are. For example, fintech classes. They take fintech classes. They take entrepreneurship labs and classes as well. They take VC classes. So they try to, because that's their ecosystem. That's where they're going to be in a year from now. They're going to
Sure.
be trying to raise fund. They're going to need to be speaking to customers. So you see that they are actually taking these classes, not as much as leadership or, you know, so the value is different. And also they go and try to be in a like Martin Center, which helps entrepreneurs through their journey. So they focus on
Mm,
being and taking classes there, attending all the events there
mm,
versus the sponsored would say, you know what, I need to do one, two, and I need to be focused on these things. I need them when I go back to my specific
mm,
job that I'm doing. So
mm.
the value is different.
Interesting. As part of, aside from job status, are there any other traits that you think impact how much you get out of the program? Are there any other sort of personality types that seem to thrive, or anything else that makes a difference?
Of course, I don't know how to answer that question, but if you're curious about learning,
Mm,
you will get the most of it. And if you're like don't want to learn much, you still can not learn much. It's all depends on how much you want it and how much you put effort into it and
mm,
how much you want to learn and use this here.
yeah.
You could be actually in the middle. You could enjoy being in school and you do things outside school. Like MIT is not like I'm just gonna be sinking in my books and just not leaving my apartment.
Mm,
You could do both. You could be in classes all time and doing work. You could be
mm,
not doing much and trying to not learn, or you could manage it both and just have
yeah.
fun and just enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
It depends. I've seen people who are very quiet in classes, and I'll give you that distinction. There are a few people in classes, and actually with me, they're very quiet, and we like they are, I don't want to say introvert, but they don't speak much in classes. But when you sit one-on-one with them, they're the smartest people, but they
Mm,
don't contribute much in classes. So you don't really know. If I'm a professor, I don't know that person is knows so much because they don't talk. On the other
mm,
hand, there are people who talks in every single class, and you see the
yeah.
differences, right? So you can be actually hybrid between the both.
Yeah.
So it depends. Personality plays a big part of it. Yes.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Now, last question for you is there's always conversations in the media about whether an MBA is still worth it. Every year there will be some news article in FT or whatever saying the MBA, is it still worthwhile? What's your take?
So okay, I did MBA. I'll speak to my own specific, situation.
Sure.
I've done a master's before.
Uh-huh.
I've seen a master. I've done it after working for a while. I've done the bachelor after even working. So I worked and did bachelor degree and then worked for a while, did
Yeah.
master's and worked for a while and now doing MBA. It's easy for somebody who didn't take it to say, yeah, it's a waste of time or it's not as important to be. If is the opportunity cost is high for me specifically, very high, yes.
Mm,
Um, is it expensive? Yes. Is it, you know, slowing my probably my progression in terms if I want to pursue the same career? Probably 1 year pause is a lot. But
mm,
at the same time, it's the highlight of my schooling throughout the degrees, different degrees. It gets you to expose and learn with other people from all over the world, which I didn't get the chance to do in other my other degrees, which were actually in the US as well.
mm,
And actually being in an MIT with the MBA and being having the access to the ecosystem and the professors and the faculties and the students and the different centers, different companies, and the whole ecosystem is
Mm,
just you can't find it anywhere in the world.
mm,
So for me, if I go back in time, making the same decision, I would do the same exact decision 100% and just say, MBA is different. Take it. Um, if you don't, if you're hesitant about taking MBA, don't take it. Like, if you're not sure, if you don't believe in it, just don't take it
mm,
because I had the belief that it will add a lot, and it did. And I'm so happy that I did it. And it's an amazing experience. And again,
mm,
forget about classes, just being with different people, working on different problems, and seeing how people are actually thinking about things and how different they are.
mm,
It is so mind-boggling, and it adds to you as a person so much. And even in your leadership class, like style, you don't need to learn in classes everything, right?
mm,
You interact with people from Africa, from Southeast Asia, from Middle East, from America, North America, South America, and you see the differences, and you actually, it's a very huge learning experience outside classes that you're
mm,
taking, that you would not be taking in if I was in a master's degree, it wasn't very diversified in terms of
mm,
the nationalities and stuff like that.
mm.
So that's my take on MBA. I would definitely 100% do it.
So just pick on that then. So you've said that, like, it sounds like to me the best bit for this is the ecosystem that you've kind of become part of. Do you envision still being part of that ecosystem after you graduate, or is that a 1 year thing?
Oh no. So they actually want you to be back. So you have
Uh-huh.
options to do that. Meaning you can do, for example, when I talk to them about, 1 year is too short, you have an option to come back as a semester, but it's not
Mhm.
going to be within your degree. It's going to be you coming to take classes, just normal classes with normal students,
Yeah.
whatever classes you want. As they called Sloan Fellow, like visiting Sloan Fellow. So you
Right.
come and you spend a semester. Let's say I want
Mm,
to focus on AI classes. I'll just take AI classes,
mm,
and you pay certain fees. It's discounted to the no, not the normal price. It's discounted
yeah.
just for you as an alumni taking these classes. So
Mm,
that's one option. The other option, you can take classes in during January. So during January, the school is off, but
mm,
the executive education, they open their courses, 2, 3, 4 days courses,
mhm,
and they actually give it the access first to the alumni. So you
mm,
as a student, I can take these classes with the alumni, and then I actually interact with them. It's a good networking time for like 3 weeks, I think. So you
mm.
take 2, 3 classes during that time.
Epic.
Yeah.
Epic. Abdullah, that's all the questions I had. I think you're a sort of a you seem to be a poster child for the for this program and the benefits it brings. It's absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes. It's
It's
it's been an amazing journey. Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you so much for for telling us all about it, and yeah, have a good what 2 more months or 1 more month of your program, and
Yes.
yeah. But seriously, congratulations, and thank you very much for sharing with everything. And I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Sam, for having me.
See ya.
Have a great one. Bye.